Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got some massive news coming out of the South China Sea that's going to shift how everyone looks at naval power in the Indo-Pacific. Just days after its official commissioning ceremony on November 5th in Sanya, China's brand new supercarrier Fujian has already completed its very first live force training at sea with a full carrier strike group. Chinese state media, especially CCTV, dropped footage showing the massive ship operating alongside destroyers and frigates while launching and recovering a whole range of advanced aircraft. This wasn't just a routine shakedown. This was a deliberate combat readiness exercise, and the timing couldn't be more pointed. Let's start with the star of the show, the Fujian itself. This is China's third carrier, but it's the first one that's completely domestically designed from the ground up for catabar operations, catapult-assisted takeoff, barrier-arrested recovery. We're talking about an 80,000 to 85,000 ton beast, over 316 meters long, with a flat deck and 3 electromagnetic catapults, EMALS, just like on the Ford-class carriers. That means planes can launch with way more fuel and weapons than the ski-jump carriers Liaoning and Shandong ever could. Open-source estimates say Fujian can carry 48 to 60 fixed-wing aircraft plus a dozen helicopters, so somewhere around 60 to 75 aircraft in total. That's a serious jump in capability. And the aircraft they showed? Insane. We saw the brand new stealth J-35 fifth-generation fighter doing catapult launches and arrested landings. Twin engines, internal weapons bays, AESA radar, low observable design. This thing is built for air superiority and deep strikes with a tiny radar signature. Then there's the catapult-optimized J-15T, the electronic warfare J-15D with the big wingtip pods, and most importantly, the KJ-600 airborne early warning and control aircraft. The KJ-600 is China's answer to the E-2 Hawkeye, a turboprop AEWNC platform that finally gives Chinese carrier groups long-range radar coverage over the horizon. No more relying solely on ship-based or land-based radars. With the KJ-600 up, the entire strike group can see hundreds of kilometers farther, detect incoming missiles or aircraft way earlier, and manage fighters much more effectively. The escorts were no slouches either. They had the Type 055 destroyer Yan'an, one of the most powerful surface combatants on the planet with 112 VLS cells, advanced radars, and area air defense missiles, plus the Type 054A frigate Tongliao, handling anti-submarine warfare and close-in protection. Together, they practiced formation maneuvers, search and rescue, and integrated air operations. This is a real multi-layered carrier strike group now, not just a carrier with a couple of escorts tagging along. What's wild is how fast this is all happening. 15 years ago, China had one refurbished Soviet hull that barely worked. Now they're commissioning EMALS supercarriers, pumping out Type 055 destroyers like it's nothing, and fielding 5th-gen carrier aircraft and fixed-wing AEW. Yes, the US still has 11 nuclear supercarriers, decades of real combat experience, and a global alliance network, but the sheer production tempo out of Chinese shipyards is closing the gap faster than most people expected. Of course, we have to keep perspective. These carriers have never been in combat. Liaoning and Shandong had teething problems with sortie rates, maintenance, and coordination when they first deployed. Fujian looks far more mature on paper, but until it's tested in a real shooting war against someone who can jam data links, hunt the replenishment ships, and put submarines in its path, we won't know how robust the whole system really is. Still, the message is crystal clear. With electromagnetic catapults and the J-35 KJ-600 combo, Fujian can sustain air operations at much greater range and intensity than its predecessors. That means credible air cover over the entire Taiwan Strait, the South China Sea, and even approaches towards Japan if things ever kick off. And doing this exercise right now, while Japan's new Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi is talking openly about Japan potentially getting involved in a Taiwan contingency, that's not subtle. Beijing is signaling that its carrier force is no longer experimental. It's becoming a blue water navy that can project power and complicate everyone's planning. In the medium term, we're going to see multiple Chinese carrier strike groups operating regularly beyond the First Island chain. That changes the calculus for the US Navy, for Japan, for Australia, India, and even European navies that are starting to sail through the region more often. So yeah, Fujian's first outing wasn't just a training evolution, it was a statement. China's carrier aviation has officially leveled up, and the Indo-Pacific just got a lot more interesting. What do you think? Is China closing the gap too fast, or is the US lead still insurmountable for decades? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you enjoyed the breakdown, and subscribe with notifications on because we're going to be tracking every move this carrier group makes. See you in the next one.